Hello, my dear viewers. Before I do my Planet Fitness logo history, for this video, I'm gonna do the logo history of every single Nickelodeon channel that existed, from Nickelodeon to Nick Jr. to Nicktoons Network to TeenNick to NickRewind to Nick at Nite to NickMusic. So one note, I do not own any of the images in this video, so that's my advice. And the first logo I will be talking about is on Nickelodeon itself. Nickelodeon is considered to be the first cable channel for children, before channels like Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, and PBS Kids. It aired content like All That, iCarly, The Fairly OddParents, The Loud House, and would be their favorite subject, SpongeBob. They first launched on April 1st, 1979, and they had a long run of showing Nicktoons and live-action sitcoms. And let's get started with the logos, shall we? 1979 to 1980. Here is the very first logo of Nickelodeon, with a guy with a satellite dish looking into the words spelled in black, Nickelodeon. Now, for this logo, it's pretty boring, and most of the bumpers featured from this era of Nickelodeon are mostly lost media, so I won't be showing any bumpers. Anyway, let's get on to the next logo. 1980 to 1981. This is the second logo that Nickelodeon had, and it's pretty generic for how it looks. It's kind of like the previous logo, except the man with the satellite has been removed and the words are more, stabled. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. 1981 to 1984. Here we have the crystal ball logo from Nickelodeon's early days as a network. Here we have a rainbow letter saying Nickelodeon in front of a crystal ball. Anyway, next logo. 1984 to 2009. Here we have the iconic Splat logo that most know Nickelodeon for. Here on the Splat, we have white text that says Nickelodeon, and we have orange outlines towards the Splat. There are even variants of the logo, rather bombs, toys, cars, rocket ships, or houses, or cooking knives, you name it. Anyway, on to the next logo. 2009 to 2023. Here we have the logo from Nickelodeon's Dark Age, and let me tell ya, that's pretty much of a pretty generic looking logo. It completely looks hideous, cringy, and completely bad for how it looks. So anyway, on to the next logo. 2023 to present. Here we have the new Splat logo that Nickelodeon is still using to this day. And I bet that they're probably gonna not change it anytime soon. It is pretty great. I know it has the same feel as the previous one, but it's still pretty amazing to look at, and better than the last generic looking one. Anyway guys, that's it for the main channel. The next logo I will be talking about will be on Nick Jr. Nick Jr. is the preschool block on Nickelodeon, later becoming its own channel, replacing the Noggin channel. It airs shows like Peppa Pig, Yo Gabba Gabba, Max and Ruby, Blue's Clues, Me How Kai Lan, Little Bill, Little Bear, and would be their favorite subject, Paw Patrol. the channel is going downhill, and unlike Nickelodeon today, Nick Jr. is worsening over this time. So, let's get with the logo, shall we? 1988 to 2009. Here we have the first logo of Nick Jr., which is the iconic holding hands logo. Well, a lot of people like it, but for me, I think it's okay. It isn't perfect, but it is okay. Anyway, on to the next logo. 2009 to 2023. Here we have the generic looking Nick Jr. logo. Even though it looks generic, Nick Jr. from 2009 to, say, 2014 was alright. But I think it was 2015 when Nick Jr. was really in their dark age. Most of the classic shows stopped airing, and when we get to the next logo, I'll tell you about Nick Jr.'s dark age. 2023 to the present. Here we have Nick Jr.'s new logo. I mean, they didn't even bother to bring back the holding hands logo, instead have it replicate Nickelodeon's new Splat logo. I mean, just because Nickelodeon has a Splat logo doesn't mean Nick Jr. has to do the opposite. And as of 2023, Nick Jr. is still in their dark age. They worship Paw Patrol like it's their version of SpongeBob, and they removed all the classic shows, and only 3 of the classic shows from rather the 80s, 90s, or 2000s are still on. Peppa Pig, Max and Ruby, and Dora the Explorer. It doesn't even air Blue's Clues anymore. The original. Sad, I know. Anyway, that's this logo. Man, I just want Nick Jr. to return back to the holding hands logo. Well guys, I don't want to make this video long, so I'm gonna split it into 2 parts. So stay tuned for part 2 coming tomorrow, which will be the continuation of where this part left off, with the logos related to Nicktoons Network, TeenNick, NickRewind, Nick at Nite, NickMusic, and NickMom, Nick Jr.'s failed adult programming block. So stay tuned for part 2 coming tomorrow.